Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Good morning to all. So, interesting things happened overnight that I had no clue even happened until I woke up this morning. Yes, yes. And that is this big gap up. I didn't even know the market went down to, oh, that's Apple, excuse me. We're going to go over to the SPY. So, as you guys have noticed by the title, really the only thing that's on here is the SPY, which is the SPDR ETF, the most heavily traded ETF in the whole stock market. And then the large cap stocks, because, well, all the large cap stocks have been moving significantly because the market's been moving like crazy. So, market ended up going down to 277 overnight, and then we bounced all the way back up. We're at about 285 right now. So, really impressive downward move, and then really impressive big bounce. Really didn't see that coming. Okay. Well, Mr. Alfred there in the chat, you're asking, is the market going to bounce back today? The market's already bounced today. Well, arguably last night. Sorry, it's more like last night, not really today. So the market's already bounced back yesterday and into today. So are they going to bounce back today? Maybe. This is a big bullish bounce here, but you always have to remember that when something gaps up like this, then there's a big gap to fill, and the market always wants to fill its gap, right? So if we look at, I think at the daily chart here, yep. So if we look at the daily chart, what do we have here? We have a big gap down from yesterday. Well, that would have been from Monday going in. Yeah, no, from the weekend over. Yeah, so we have this big gap down here, right? So the market's going to want to fill that gap. So the likelihood that the market comes up and fills that gap is pretty likely. Will it happen today? It could. Will it happen tomorrow? It could. Will it happen a week from now? Maybe, right? It's not about picking the time. It's not always about, let me rephrase that. It's not about knowing that it's going to happen today or tomorrow or whatnot. It's about knowing that it's most likely going to happen at some point, and you position yourself for it to happen, right? So you track things. So will it bounce back today? Maybe. There's a good chance. I mean, this is a big bounce, right? I think it's likely we see either a consolidational day, a little bit of a pullback, but stay above this high. That's something to remember. This is a really big bounce. So the likelihood that the market just comes through and breaks below 277 on a first attempt is very unlikely, okay? So for me, I'm just kind of on standby, kind of watching the market. So as you'll see, the title says the SPY in large cap stocks, because anything that this market does today, generally your stocks are going to do the same, right? And I always mention this, and I specifically talk about this all the time. Look at Netflix. It looks the same as the market. Look at Baba. Looks the same as the market. Look at Apple. If it ever loads, Apple always takes a while to load for some reason. Looks the same as the market. Look at Caterpillar. If it ever loads, that'd be great. Same as the market. Tesla, pretty much the exact same as the market. Nvidia, same as the market. AMD, that's interesting. A little different, but anyways, almost the same as the market. So enough of me repeating myself. You guys get the point, okay? Why do I think Jeff Bezos sold his shares? It really doesn't. Again, let me. Well, it actually does matter why he sold his. Or actually, no. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't really matter why he sold his shares. It doesn't. He's such a small fish that it doesn't even matter. Well, he's not really a small fish, but he is. The amount of shares that he sold is so tiny in comparison to the amount of shares that are around for Apple that it's hardly even a dent the size. It's nothing. So, again, it doesn't matter why somebody sells shares. It only matters why people buy shares. Always remember that. It doesn't matter why someone sells shares. It only matters why someone buys shares. And the reasoning behind that is because Jeff could be selling his shares because he wants to create a company, which is actually why he did it, I believe, is he's trying to create a new company. He could sell the shares because he wants to buy a new Lamborghini. He could sell the shares because he wants to buy a new yacht, because he wants to, start putting money away for something else, because he's secretly hiring a private investigator to follow around his ex-wife to see if something. Doesn't matter. It could be a million reasons why you actually sell shares. But there's only one reason you buy shares. You only buy shares in something because you think it's going to go up. There's only one reason to buy, many reasons to sell. And that's what you always need to remember. Soldier Boy. So let me rephrase this, right? I'm not one, like, I don't care to predict I don't know what's going to happen. I never know what's going to happen, right? Nor does anybody really in the market. Nobody knows what's going to happen next week, 2 weeks from now, how things are exactly going to move. What we do know is how things are going to react at specific points. And that's what we do. We play specific levels, specific points, because we know most likely what's going to happen there. We don't know what's going to happen from in between there to the next point, right? Okay. Like, I can tell you exactly how I can get from Detroit to California. Like, I know how it's going to happen, but what's going to happen in the in-between, I have no idea. I have no idea how the pilot gets the plane ready. I have no idea how the pilot gets the plane off the ground, what they do when they're flying. I have no idea, what buttons he's going to hit. I don't know how he gets the landing gear down to get me settled in California. But what I do know is it's going to start at Detroit and it's going to end in California. So we'll go look back at the market. Take a look at like a 4-hour chart here, right? I don't know, even here, like, I know for a fact the market will bounce here. How it's going to get up to back to where it's going to get and how far that bounce is going to go, I don't know for sure, but I know we'll start here. We'll bounce, we'll pull back, we'll do some weird trading days, and then we'll go higher, then we'll come lower. I know all that, but I don't know exactly what price it's going to stop at specifically, but I know where we're most likely going to start. So what stock do you look for? You look for pretty much every single stock in the stock. I always rephrase this. Whenever the stock market's down like this, everything's down. So if you go look at Apple, Apple's going to be a good buy. If you go look at Facebook, Facebook's going to be at probably a decent buy. We'll double check though. Everything that you're seeing right now, all stocks are on sale. There's a bounce coming on pretty much every single stock within the market that was negatively affected from this recent downturn. It'd really be great if my computer would work. It's just fantastic. So like Facebook's starting to bounce. This isn't actually really at a great, it's arguable just at a good bounce level. This is only bouncing because the market's bouncing, but it's not actually at a good buy point in terms of the share price. But something like BABA, look at BABA, right? Like, look at this. BABA rolled all the way down into this low previous bounce zone. This is going to bounce, right? This will have a good bounce. But this is what you do have to take note on, right? Is, like, look at this move. Right, we bounce, go up, fall down, we bounce. Now we create a lower high from here to here, from point A to point B. Now we have a lower high. When this bounces, it's not bouncing all the way past the previous high. Remember that with all of these stocks, right? With every single one that comes up on the screen. Facebook is not bouncing over the previous high, okay? Netflix is not bouncing over its previous high. Apple not bouncing over previous high. Okay, well actually this one could probably bounce over previous high. Netflix probably could, but it wouldn't bounce over the high at 384. So it tells me that a lot of these stocks are putting in lower highs, which actually signifies the start of a potential downtrend. So if you're going to have Netflix starting to downtrend, Apple starting to downtrend, Facebook starting to downtrend, Nvidia starting to downtrend, BABA starting to downtrend, Caterpillar starting to downtrend, Boeing starting to downtrend, you're taking all of your major market cap stocks starting a downtrend. That is going to be enough weight in itself to drag your overall market down. Okay. So, yeah, we're at a pretty significant point. Something that I don't think we've actually seen really before. I mean, kind of. See before when we had the big kind of negative crash in December, if you look at all the stocks, they all went through their bounce, right? They've all had, let me do it this way. They've all had their bounce, right? Netflix going down, that was the market basically going down. Then we bounced, right? And now we've rolled over again. So the market, right, if you think about it, we've done the bounce. Apple, market move down, bounce. Now lower high, right? Go back to Netflix. Okay. Lower high. Baba. Lower high. Nvidia, let's take a look at this one. Definitely. Look at that. That never even come close to recovering yet. This actually looks like a really bearish pattern too right now. But Nvidia, look at that. I mean, you have some things that have been performing very well, like Microsoft. That's been outperforming the market significantly. Shopify outperforming the market significantly, right? So there's definitely still many really great stocks in the market, but these don't last for forever, right? Like, is Shopify something I'd want to buy here? Absolutely not. There's no way I'd want to buy Shopify here. Would I want to buy Microsoft at this price? No way would I want to buy Microsoft at that price. Are you kidding me? Anybody wanting to buy these up, I mean, you're crazy. So we're starting to see a lot of lower highs in some stocks, like PF is at, excuse me. No. Like Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble's still performing really well. So lots performing well, but we're starting to see some negatives on some stocks for sure. Start trading, the amount of money you start trading with, it's really a personal thing, but trade with the amount of money that you're not afraid to lose. So if you're comfortable losing $500, you can trade with $500. If you're not comfortable losing $2,000, and don't put $2,000 in your account. And if you're going to start trading, don't day trade. Start swing trading first. Consider more expensive stocks that are large cap stocks. Try to stay away from trading penny stocks. You're just not good enough. I'm sorry to say it. It's going to sound mean, but you're not good enough to trade penny stocks, and you won't be for a while. You might have some luck here and there, but you won't be good enough to start trading them right off the bat. You'd be better off trading more reputable companies that don't crash, 80% over the course of 2 days. So your best bet is start trading as a beginner is to start trading large cap stocks with a commission-free broker like Robinhood or Webull. Don't care to make millions of dollars because you won't. You're probably going to be making, $2 to $5, maybe $10 per trade you make if you hit a really good one. If you don't hit a good one, you're probably going to be making $1.50 to $2 depending on your account size. Again, if it's just a few $100, right, you're only going to be able to afford one share of Netflix. But again, on average, Netflix moves about $7 a day. So if you get Netflix on a really good price that's low, say towards 300, and then over the course of 3 days it bounces $30, you just made $30 on one share. Not life changing, but you can grow an account very slowly that way. But yeah, I would start with the amount of money that you're comfortable knowing that if you lose it, it's not going to be the end of the world, and to start trading higher price stocks, more blue chip preferably. Brandon, it all depends. If I'm going for a scalp trade, I won't hold the trade for more than a few seconds if it starts going against me. If it's a swing trade, then I'll hold until a demand zone or a buying level has been broken. But that's generally it. It's either I'm going in for a momentum trade as soon as momentum's not in my favor, I'll be out of the position, or If I get in a position it goes red, then I just hold until it breaks a level, which I know that my thesis or the trade plan I had was completely incorrect. So what am I doing today? So yeah, we haven't really touched on that. So the only thing I'm really going to be doing today is I'll be following, I arguably wanted to follow Netflix, but I kind of think Netflix is going to be more fakey and more kind of just like meh, ho hum, choppy. So this one I was like, this one's on watch, but it's only on watch if it starts. I'll watch it initially in the morning, Netflix, but if Netflix starts to move kind of grindy and ugly and doesn't have good formation and flow, then it will be off watch very soon. Second one I'll be watching is going to be Apple, right? Apple, actually really like this one because Apple tends to follow very, very closely to the S&P 500. So like generally whatever the S&P does, Apple's going to move very, very, very similar to it. So if we get a really nice bullish ripping day on the market, Apple's going to have a really nice bullish ripping day on the market. Whereas like Netflix follows the market, but it can also be a little fakey and choppy. So I would say if the market has a really great day today, I think Apple would have more of a fluent good day than Netflix would. So Apple might be something that's easier to hold and trade than Netflix today. Same thing with Baba. Baba to me, at a good buy. Pretty much I'm watching everything for dip buy longs today. Or potential early morning panic shorting. But other than that, pretty much my whole bias today is long bias. Since the market's down quite a bit, it's into a demand zone. Most stocks have been just annihilated. I don't think it's time to be a seller anymore. I think the past couple weeks was a great time to be a seller, but now it's time to start considering long bias formation and outlook. Microsoft, yeah, Ben, I mean, Microsoft's just trending up that's just pretty much it. Let's go golf. Thoughts on TVIX? There are no thoughts for TVIX. TVIX is pretty straightforward. If the market's going through bearish times and the volatility index is up, then TVIX is up. If the market has a green day, TVIX will go down because volatility across the indexes will go down. So TVIX is very simple to trade. It basically, you only focus on it when the volatility index is going up, and then you don't focus on it when the market's really slow. Yeah, Devin, buying and holding for years is the #1 go-to strategy for pretty much all investing, and it's a good outlook. You just have to remember when you're actually buying and holding long-term. Because here's a problem. People go, oh, well, I'm just going to buy this and hold long-term because that's how you do it. Well, yeah, that is how you do it, but don't just buy and hold long-term because you want to buy and hold long-term. Buy and hold long-term when things are a good time to buy, right? That's like me saying, yeah, I'm going to, well, it's like this $200,000 Corvette, but I'm going to buy it, just because I'm going to hold it long-term. I'll have it long-term, so I don't care. I'll just buy it at $200,000. And then the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years you have it, it's just completely tanking in price. And then eventually, as you turn 75 years old, it gets added into, some special car collection. Now it's worth 260 grand. It's like, well, you could have just been patient and rather spend 200 grand. You could have got it for 115 grand, and then you'd made a better deal. So just because you're going to buy and hold something long term doesn't mean it's a good time to buy, right? Like the market right now, there's no way that I want to be buying stuff long term, equity wise. This just doesn't make sense. It's too overpriced. Things are too high. I mean, we'll get better prices in the next 4 or 5 years, so why not? What's a good entry for gold? A good entry for gold was a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't personally. I mean, I am adding to it, but you're gonna have downturns in gold over the next probably 2 months. Maybe not actually. Yeah, that's the thing is I'm not one for jumping in on trends, so I won't answer that question. Actually, I will answer the question. Where's a good place to buy gold? It already happened. We go to like a 4-hour chart here. Good place to buy gold was here, right? Well, let's actually look at a 3-year chart. All right, good place to buy gold was here. Good place to buy gold was here. Good place to buy gold was back here, back here, back here, back here. But that's, of course, hindsight 2020. Good place to buy gold was right here. Okay, so many of great opportunities have passed to buying gold. We're kind of breaking out of a flag here. I probably wouldn't buy this breakout here. Yeah, I would just wait, you know. I would sit back and wait, but I probably wouldn't buy this. Good buy level would be like right here, this 130 level or this 127.90s level. Will it get there? Maybe, maybe not. But again, I have never been a trader or investor, well, let's just say trader, to jump in as something's already moving. So once something starts moving, I let it go. I don't even try to buy it. Gold, yeah, I mean, in terms of like right now, yeah, gold might be done, but gold's nowhere near to being done at all. Gold's going to fly here over the next couple of years. It's going to have, again, don't be surprised if you see gold up at, I think, what is it? I think 1800. Yeah, don't be surprised to see gold at 1800 here in the next couple of years, or and over 1800 possibly. That's where I would target gold, 1800s, somewhere in that level, 17, 16. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You're asking your question about getting into the trading world with lower price ETFs. That's fine. Yep. Apple, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think it moves about 3 to 4 points on average. I think Apple's average true range. I mean, I could put it on my chart. Give me a second. Oh, it's not the market open, so I don't know if it's gonna work right now. No. Okay, never mind. Apple. Yeah, right now Apple's ATR is 4.95, but that's only because we've been having bearish days in the market, so it's causing the stock to move more than it would normally do. So right now its ATR is 4.95. Over the course of a couple days, as the market volatility slows down, most likely you'll probably see that return to about 3.5. Yeah, let me take a look at ACB. I've been following this for quite some time. Nope, not really. And there's some news or something about something. Yeah, this could be a decent buy day, but again, the move's already happening. So for a day trade, no, not really. For swing trade, maybe. Boeing, whatever the market does, if the market starts to squeeze to highs, then buy Boeing today. If the market starts to drop like crazy, short Boeing. Any thoughts on MU? Well, let's take a look. If MU is moving similar to the market, then your thoughts would be to follow the market for the day. MU is following the market, so follow the S&P 500, and you'll have a better idea of how to trade MU for the day. Disney, let's see, is Disney following similar to the overall market today? If so, yeah, then you'd want to follow the S&P 500, and I'll give you a better outlook on how you should trade Disney. How about silver? Silver is moving decent. Again, silver is one that generally lags the price of gold. Oh, I'm typing in silver like a knucklehead. Yeah, but I mean, silver is moving decently. I mean, it's back up into the 15s, almost 16s, getting close. I mean, just hanging out. Yeah, I mean, I'm long silver too. I like silver. I think we'll see silver up to prices of at least 20 to 25 next 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. I think 20, 25 is a good outlook for silver. because it has a gap fill here right at, look, there's a gap here. You can see it right there. There's a gap in the chart that's never been filled before. So if silver goes through a bullish run, I think 25 is a obtainable target because there's at least a gap fill there we've never filled. So we still have to fill that gap. And silver is not a penny stock or some company that's going to go out of business. It's a commodity. It's a precious metal. Penny stocks to hold long term. If you do that, you're going to lose 90% of the time. So I wouldn't recommend holding penny stocks long term because 90% of them don't make it and 90% fail. So that's a 90% losing strategy. Ben, number one thing when it comes to RSI, do not use your relative strength index indicator as a means to dictate when something has been oversold or overbought. That's the incorrect way to actually use it. That's the basic understanding of it, but doesn't have any it doesn't work. Okay, because a stock can be oversold on the RSI for 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and then it can bounce, right? It can say it's oversold right now and then keep going lower. So the oversoldness and overboughtness of an RSI doesn't really truly dictate what's going to happen to the price. It's just there to say, hey, this has been sold down pretty well. Doesn't mean it's going to bounce, right? And you don't need RSI to know when something is oversold or sold down. You can see it with your eyes, generally. All right, yeah, guys. So with that being said, it's about 9 o'clock, so I got to get back to our private group. So again, I do appreciate everybody tuning in this morning with us. It's always fun, always a good time. I'm going to post a link to our website right here in the chat. So feel free, you can check that out. It's our website. We got a couple free tools on there, like different custom studies and scans. So again, you can get some cool stuff for free. If you guys want to join any of our paid groups, feel free to do that as well. That's the link in the description or in the chat. Feel free. Check us out. You can join us live throughout the day, every single day as we do our stuff. But guys, everybody take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.